Hey, now that Christmas is over, you've got time to reflect on 2018. And I want to say to you, forget New Year's resolutions and think about your dreams. Spend time dreaming about what it is that you want in your future in 2018 and beyond. I'm Julian Russell. I'm the founder of the Life Talent Programme, an annual 20-day programme that helps people transform their lives. We also run shorter workshops in the UK, Greece, Spain and China. So let's talk about your dreams. Let's talk about what it is that you really want in your life. Do you know the story of Ang Lee? He made the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and won an Oscar for it. And he went to Hollywood with his family but was unsuccessful and ended up going back to Taiwan where he came from. And he wasn't making it as a film director. So he was despondent. His wife's family did this very Chinese thing. They offered to buy him a Chinese restaurant and then he could live off that. And he even thought about studying IT and went to an IT college and got the brochure from the IT college. He didn't tell his wife about it, but she saw in his bag that he had a brochure from a college. And she was looking after the family, she was supporting the family. And one day on her way to work, as she left the house, she turned around and she looked at him and she said, "Ang, don't forget your dreams." And so that's what I want to say to you today. Don't forget your dreams. Of course, he won an Oscar for that film. And there's a fantastic photograph of him holding an Oscar in one hand and eating a Big Mac with the other hand. So let's talk about dreams. There are three stages in the dreaming process. To have a big dream, to let yourself have a big dream, and it has to be unrealistic. If Disney makes a great movie, the vision has to be unrealistic. It has to be, just whatever it is that you want. After you've got a really great dream for your life, you can then get practical and plan. But don't let the practical side of you interfere with the dreaming side of you. First dream, then plan. And then at the end of the plan say, really, what is the risk? Is this practical? Can this happen? But they've got to be done in sequence. You've got to dream first, plan later, and finally have the constructive critic and put some contingency plans in place, do some things to mitigate the risk, all of those sorts of things. But in this gap between Christmas and the New Year, just let yourself dream about what it is that you want in your life and what's possible in your life. And make a movie. I always say that it's like, the edited highlights after a football match. You don't want to watch the whole 90 minutes, or at least I don't all the time. But I really like the edited highlights. So make an edited highlights movie. Have the ball being passed up the field of your life between the players and scoring the goal. Then play it in slow motion, then play it from another angle. So make an edited highlights movie in your mind's eye. Now this is fun, this is daydreaming. I'm giving you permission to daydream. How good is that? You've got this time between Christmas and New Year. Hopefully you'll get a little bit of time to daydream. Maybe you have some ritual activity. Maybe you have a journal, maybe you light a candle, maybe you can go to a cafe, have a cappuccino, go for a walk on your own, get a little bit of time for yourself and take some time to daydream. What do you want your life to look like? What will make your life meaningful and purposeful? Are you fulfilling your potential in life? What will that look like? Are you giving your gift to the world? How will you know that you've had a good life? There are three forms of meaning in life. Meaning through the difference you make in the world, giving your gift to the world. Meaning through love. And meaning through how you face both the agony and the ecstasy of life. Through how you face the human condition. Actually, you might say there are three marriages. The marriage with work, the marriage with family, and the marriage with yourself. How are you fulfilling your potential in each of those areas? Dream about it. So that's the first stage, to dream. And actually I want to talk about 4 things in relationship to your dream, briefly. The first is the importance of positive self-emotion in making dreams come true. The second is the importance of self-belief. You'll never be more successful than your self-belief allows you to be. And then I'm going to talk about very, very briefly about the deep stuff. Are there any old wounds or difficult things from your past that hold you back from fully expressing yourself into life? And then I'm going to talk about action. Action trumps everything. Action is where the rubber hits the road. Action is where change takes place. So, I've done a video, you can see it on the Life Talent page, about taking charge of your life, and it says a lot. The whole of the first video is about how positive emotions helps you increase happiness and success. Are you doing enough things on a body, emotion, mind and spirit level to give you well-being and positive emotion in your life? If you haven't got enough of that happening, do more of that. It will improve your work life, it will improve your home life. Don't let life burden you too much. Then you just walk around life like a burdened person. Have as a part of your dream being someone who's enjoying life, because that enjoyment will be self-fulfilling, will be self-fueling. So, by the way, when you're dreaming, the dream has two parts. The first is the end result, what your life would be like when you've dreamt, when you've achieved it. But also, in the dream itself, you need to have a whole piece in the dream about how you achieve the dream, what it is you have to do to achieve that dream, what are the steps to achieve that dream, to be someone who not only achieves the dream. It's not enough to win the lottery. It's great, feel free to dream of winning the lottery, but your chances of, I think you're more likely to be hit by a meteorite, perhaps not, but you're more likely to have 1,000 other things happen, 1,000,000 or other things happen, than win the lottery. If you really want a lot of money, dream about how you get good at making money in the area, using your talents and your skills and your abilities. If you dream about having a relationship that works really well, dream about you being someone who's really good at making relationships great. So dream about not only the end result, but what it is that you do, that you learn, that you explore, that you discover to get you to that end result. So, and positive emotions is a part of that. Positive emotions is correlated with success both at work and at home. So, let's talk about self-belief just briefly, because again I talked about that in the second video in the Taking Charge of Your Life series, which is on the Life Talent video page. But in essence, Olympic athletes, and the coach, Lanny Bassam, a coach for Olympic athletes, says, and I'm sure it's true, that you cannot achieve more than you believe that you can achieve. Your self-beliefs. If you have limiting beliefs, you need to change those limiting beliefs for positive ones. So if you have a limiting belief about yourself and your life, write that on one piece of paper. Then write a positive belief, something that's just as true or even better. For example, I'm learning to love, or I'm learning to express my love, or I'm learning to achieve love, or I'm learning to build relationships that create love, or I'm learning to how to make my career work. I am learning to be a successful entrepreneur. Write down some beliefs that are just as true as the old beliefs, the disempowering beliefs, and then start saying those beliefs as mantras. This is a very short, introduction to this idea, but create positive mantras with positive beliefs that will support you making your dreams come true. Then I talked about the next point was about the deep stuff. And the deep stuff is that many of us, including myself, have had difficulty in your past, in your personal history, perhaps in your childhood, perhaps in your adult life, that scarred you in some way, that stops you really making your dreams come true. And if that really is holding you back, then get some support around healing that. And the best way to get support around healing, there are 3 ways of getting support around healing that. The first is, my recommended view would be a coach who has psychotherapy skills. but a psychotherapist is good as well. But it's good to have a psychotherapist who is, unless you're really, so are you so wounded that you're just trying to get to normal, or are you normally wounded and trying to get to successful? If you're so wounded and trying to get to normal, then psychotherapy is definitely the answer. If you're normally wounded, like many people are, and trying to get to successful and happy, go for a coach with psychotherapy skills, would be my recommendation. And there are people who work, across that boundary. And also, I strongly recommend ongoing groups such as the 2018 Life Talent Program, which is 20 days, has a very profound personal transformation effect, because it's not just you and a therapist or a coach, but you working with a group of people where the energy of change, transformation, healing within the group starts to infect everybody. There's a field, there's a virtuous circle of transformational energy that takes place in those groups. Whether it's my group, or whether it's something at Spectrum, or something that Malcolm Stern does, if you want to make a big shift in your life, and you need support in making a big shift in your life, particularly with difficult emotions, it's possible from books and videos to learn to increase your positive emotion, your vision, your psychological resources. You can learn to some degree to increase all the good stuff about you. It's much harder to heal difficulty on your own. And my recommendation is, if there's strong difficulty, and this is what I do myself, when I need support with something that's difficult, emotionally difficult for me, I go and talk to someone. I recommend that the healing difficulty in your life is best done with other people, and one-to-one, or a program like the 2018 Life Talent Program. And then finally, we have taking action. So you do all this work, you have your vision, you've got your positive beliefs, you're ready to move forward, you've got your positive emotions, you've done some healing of your emotional wounds. You've actually got to do some things to change your life. One of those things is to create little, small, new habits. Habits that change your life a little bit day by day. For example, at the moment, I'm doing hamstring stretching every day, and moving my hips. I'm getting more movement back in my hips, and my osteopath has said that I've now got more mobility in my spine than I had before. I'm doing some practical things that are keeping me young at a physical level. Or it could be you decide that you're going to have more social contact, or you're going to call someone or text a close friend every day. What are some things that you can do every day that increase your well-being? So the first is creating new habits. I'm particularly interested in daily habits, because of course if you do, say it takes 30 days to create a new habit, it only takes a month of a daily habit to create that new habit. So what are the small things that you can do that will change the quality of your life, that your unconscious will see as a step on the way to changing your life? So if you do something practical that is a step in the right direction, your unconscious will say, that's a step in the right direction. It will see it as a move in the right direction. So that's one thing. Another thing that you can do is try a little project, that, a mini version of your dream. You want to live in the south of France, go and rent a house for a couple of weeks in the south of France and try it out. You want to be a yoga teacher, you've done a yoga course and you're thinking about trying to be a full-time teacher. Run a class once a week in your free time. What are little ways that you can test your dream, that you can experiment, that you can try out the sort of life that you want, that you can put your dreams into practice in a way that aren't such big risk? Very often, if people are trying to change their career, for example, or go self-employed, it's really helpful to spend a couple of years in full-time employment doing all the planning and working out and starting of the new business, and then perhaps going 3 days a week full-time, making a gradual process of change. So what are some small gradual processes of change that you could do to fulfill your dreams? I know I've talked about a lot, today. Some big ideas. The first starting point is to have the dream. Don't think about the practicality. Have the dream and talk to people about the dream. That is my strong recommendation. Have the dream and start talking to people. By the way, only talk to people who will say yes to it. Don't talk to people who are a little bit too critical, a little bit too, people who don't talk to people who may rain on your parade. Start by talking to people who are going to shine on your parade. They may later ask you how and the consequences and the risk, but where they're going to start with is, wow, that's a really interesting idea. So be careful about when you have a creative idea, when you have a new shoot, be respectful of it, be gentle with it, talk to people who you think will get it from the outset. Great hearing from you, talking to you today. Hopefully you'll put some of these ideas into practice. Give me feedback, let me know if there are any ideas for talks that you would like me to do, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. The Personal Transformation Intensive is happening in January. I think it's this Friday evening the 16th of January, Saturday the 17th, Sunday the 18th. And during that weekend we do something like what we've been doing here. We spend time looking at the vision for our lives and accessing our psychological resources. Then we spend time looking at how our foot is on the brake of our lives. How is your foot on the brake of your life? If your psychological resources, if your vision is taking you forward in your life, and your wounds and hurts and the difficulties of your life with a foot on the brake, then you're going through your life with one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake. And we'll spend some time taking our foot off the brake. And then finally we'll do work about positive beliefs to take you forward into the future. And then we'll do next steps and actions. Very powerful weekend. People get a lot out of it. Then in February we have Discover Your Life Calling. What are you most passionate about? What is the difference that you make in the world? What is it in your heart that you want to both have for yourself and express out into the world? And then in March the 2018 Life Talent Program starts, which is the 20-day course with about a weekend a month, although there's a longer gap in the summer. 8 weekends, of which one is a 2-day module, plus the Friday evenings makes it to 20 days, where we really go about transforming our lives. Great to talk to you today. I'm Julian Russell. Please message me or email me, or if you want to talk to me on the phone, go to my website and you can click on a button and put some time in my calendar to talk to me on the phone. There's nothing simpler than that. Great to talk to you, and I hope to look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.